Welcome back to the Nutrimedical Report, and we're trying to get a hold of Ed Brown, one of our sponsor companies with ProLine Infrared Sauna, and of course vibrational exercise. I can tell you my favorite exercise to start off my day is a half hour of high energy vibrational platform, which is a triplanar tri-motion, which is equivalent to the Viba Core 3000 or 5000. And I have a athletic band system attached with the body elastic bands to the ceiling that can be over in a gymnastic bar or from the ground. And I can do all kinds of calisthenics, yoga positions, etc. at exercise there. Then, of course, the treadmill exercise after that. And I can tell you Ed, tell us all about vibrational platform exercise, because it's my favorite to start the day. And I'm now up to the highest energy level which I can get, which is 50 hertz. And I have an athletic kind of bar attached to the ceiling through bolts through the joists and body elastic bands. And there's all kinds of different platforms available. We have the VibraCore 1000, which is a triplanar, is the tilt type, similar to the VibraSlim. We have the 3000 and 5000 series with triplanar tri-motion, which are much higher energy that will stimulate more proprioception, more weight loss, more hormone release, more release of muscle-related insulin sensitivity factors, which lower insulin resistance and blood sugar levels. It's the highest way of building up bone density, muscle, ligament strain, protection, increasing proprioception to prevent injuries, increasing lymphatic pumping. There's nothing like vibrational exercise as the core. In fact, I tell people the football companies, for example, the football training groups and trainers that have actually concentrated on things like vibrational platform and proprioception before they do heavy lifting or pushing those benches that they push all across the field out in the practicing football. They have far less injuries. No matter what the situation is. But vibrational exercise, I think, is a major breakthrough. In fact, the Russians discovered that without vibrational exercise, we can't travel in space. That's how important it is. So the top movie stars, the top dancers, the people, the biggest weight loss person on The Biggest Loser a couple of years ago had a vibrational platform machine. Give us more information about this website and link and what kind of savings they're going to get if they go through Nutrimedical.com and how important it is to get their health back.
Yeah, so I just sold one about an hour ago. I'm not allowed to say anything about it right now, but it's a well-known reality show. They're going to be featuring one of the Sonic machines on there and talking about it and walking through everything it does.
Are you talking about the new Vibrasonic machine, which is the new, much less expensive Vibrasonic that'll work for people under 275 pounds? And this device is absolutely amazing. Tell us all about it.
Sure. The sonic vibration. Most of the machines are mechanical and then motorized, going up and down. The sonic machines are basically you're using sound vibration. You're actually standing on a base, and it's the most inobtrusive vibration for the body. It's also one of the most effective. People with lymphatic drainage, muscle building, bone density, weight loss, tightening of the skin, blood circulation, osteoporosis, osteopenia, all the benefits from this. It's phenomenal, and it's a great way. Some people that can't exercise, it's involuntarily making the muscles contract and non-contract. So you're working over 120 muscles simultaneously without putting any stress or injury on the body. So
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
The Sonic is the best of the best. I mean, before the Sonic machines, you couldn't touch one for like less than $16,000. Now they have two machines. One is about $5,800. One's $3,995. They're affordable now, compared to what they were. And they're great. I mean, it's the results we get results anywhere from I got one guy lost, and everybody's different, of course, but I've got one guy's lost 50 pounds, one guy lost 100 pounds, one guy turned his whole pounds. They're amazing what the technology can do.
Yeah, in fact, what we find is, for example, let's say someone is diabetic. As soon as they start going on these vibrational platform machines, if they're on natural therapy like our diabetoline, biotin plus, leptin metabolic, and minerals plus, chromium cruciferate, immediately, or if they're taking even a small dosage of metformin, which the doctor will give, to block the liver from creating through gluconeogenesis, turning proteins and fats into sugar. But that's how it works. Immediately, they need to start dropping medications or going off them altogether. They notice that their nutraceuticals, their blood sugar normalizes very, very quickly. They also notice that their hemoglobin A1C drops, which takes a while to show up, although if they measure fructosamine, they'll see a change in 2 to 3 weeks. And there are fructosamine meters available that will measure that. Fructose responds much faster than the hemoglobin A1C test, and it's very accurate. You can get them. They're available in Europe and here in America if you go online. What I tell people is they have to understand that exercise, I call it vitamin X, and the most powerful form of vitamin X is vibrational. It stretches the Golgi tendon apparatus in your muscles and ligaments, so it stimulates proprioception. It stimulates the posterior column proprioception fibers. It stimulates the connective tissue, the fibroblasts, to strengthen connective tissues. It normalizes blood flow in your bones, your ligaments, and your tissues. It releases growth hormone. It releases stem cells from the bone marrow, so they'll actually get out of your central circulation and migrate to tissues. It increases CNS release of endorphins, dynorphin and beta endorphin, as well as other growth hormone factors. There's so many things it does. It's the most powerful stimulus for the detoxification called lymphatics. There's just nothing like vibrational exercise. I tell people, no matter what you do, you can be a cyclist, you can be special forces, you can be a football player, you can be a golfer, you can be a dancer, the singer on Hollywood. Vibrational exercise is where it's at. And you can add whatever else you want to do to that, including taekwondo, yoga, whatever. In fact, I use my device for yoga postures as well as calisthenics using these body elastic bands. And the combination is phenomenal, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it really is. As I said, there's a lot of different types of vibration machines out there. We have a link on the bottom of your website. People can go and find us there. Or you can go to discountvibrations.com. And just always mention Dr. Bill, because we do offer special deals for anybody that is, that hears from Dr. Deagle's show. Right. But if you go to the discountvibrations.com, there's a quiz there, 23 yes-question quiz. And that's going to ask you all kinds of questions, your health, what your level is, who's going to be using it, what you're looking to achieve, and it'll pick out the exact machine that'll be right for you.
Right. Now, one of the things that I think is most important for people to understand is how important vibrational exercise is to reduce vascular disease, improve cardiac function, improve lymphatic detoxification, improve literally every bodily function, including even stem cell activation. There's just nothing like it. And then, of course, we move on to other technology like the ProLine infrared sauna. We have a new ProLine sauna also that has a trampoline inside the sauna, so you can actually get trampoline-type lymphatic exercise at the same time. The Carbon 360, we hear other people that have called me and said, well, I used to have a sauna, and I had one of these before, and they're really good. But you don't understand, the Carbon 360 is the lowest electromagnetic frequency, literally zero, of any of the infrared saunas, because it can generate, with their resistance, quite a bit of ELF pollution. These don't generate any. And I love mine because it not only burns off calories and fat, but it also mobilizes toxins like bisphenol A from your body, toxic chemicals that can raise your C-reactive protein. It raises dramatically, and the studies have been done, up to 40% or more nitric oxide within minutes afterwards. So if you're taking anything like our Supernox and our other nutraceuticals like magnesium glycinate, gamma E+, omega supreme krill, etc., omega cod liver liquid, as you're increasing nitric oxide production, the ProLine sauna dramatically increases nitric oxide, which is the basis for heart disease, for blood vessel relaxation, for improved microcirculation in your brain and any target organ. It really is absolutely amazing, isn't it?
It is phenomenal. And we were talking about this on a previous show, but we have the new sauna jump that's coming in, where it looks like a regular sauna. It has the bench, you can sit down in there. But also the bench is removable, and there's a bungee trampoline on the floor. It's a little taller than the traditional sauna, just so you don't hit from the ceiling. But you can get in there and get the lymphatic drainage while you're detoxifying. All the ones we've tested out, you just feel euphoric.
And how do they contact you? What's the best way? Through our Nutrimedical website, link for vibrational exercise and phone number. Welcome back, and Ed, the contact number to contact you is 800-975-6981. 800-975-6981. Can you give us a little more information in terms of shipping? Because, again, your company will ship anywhere in the world. We just recently in the last few weeks, we've added even an automated international ordering, and we see, literally, I can log on anytime, and we see orders coming in from West Australia, South Africa, anywhere in the world. You ship anywhere as well, and you have really excellent rates. You also have excellent service as well, so that if there are modular problems with the vibrational platforms, you have this is the largest vibrational platform, if you want to call it website and store on the planet. There's nothing bigger, is there?
No, we can, and that's a warranty wherever you are. It was up there to take care of it, so it does not isolated to the U.S. and do it anywhere in the world, really. Right.
Now, can you give us a little more information talking about vibrational exercise? The research I'm seeing is very, very extensive in a whole bunch of areas. Is there anything new? We know that there were comparable studies done in Europe that showed the number of literally grams, and this is based on ultrasound evaluation, number of actual cubic centimeters of fat loss, including around the internal organs and the omentum and the abdominal wall, was far greater with vibrational platform exercise than any other form of exercise. This is studies done a few years ago. Insulin resistance drops faster than almost anything else you can imagine, and works in conjunction with our amazing nutraceuticals. As I mentioned, diabetoline, biotin plus, minerals plus, chromium cruciferate, lipoflush, what I'm amazed is that we had our leptin metabolic. Amazed that I call vitamin X, the real X in vitamin X is vibrational X. Because when you do vibrational exercise, 10 minutes of exercise on this machine is equivalent to the metabolic effect of an hour of aerobics. Now I do, at the highest energy, on average 20 to 40 minutes on the vibrational platform at high energy. I call it circuit training on the vibrational platform. And then I do my treadmill afterward, and then I usually get in the pool for a couple hours a day playing basketball or pool tennis or other things with my daughter and other people in the pool. So I'm going to get a lot of activity now. And I can tell you can't feel better. You can't feel better. Your brain works better. You're more energetic. You get more things done. You're in a more positive attitude. Your mood is better because you're releasing endorphins and endorphin. What other research is coming out on vibrational exercise?
When I first got into the business, my father had a stroke. And he was sitting down. He said, the doctor said your levels were great and everything's fine. And he just wasn't the same. He was sitting there. He didn't have the energy. I had gotten him a vibrational platform. I went away for business for 3 weeks. I said, just use it in the morning. And I came back. I forgot I even gave it to him. I came back. He's outside gardening. He's 82 years old. He's outside gardening. He's smiling. He's got his energy back. And I said, I thought they changed his business or something. He said, just using it 10 minutes a day, night and day. I would have paid $1 million when he did it.
Yeah. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really incredible what it does for you.
Now, let's talk about the Proline sauna. A Proline sauna is very similar to light therapy we have from Lumen Photon, but it's whole body vibrational exercise to raise your metabolic rate, your electron density, and your energy of your cells. It alkalinizes your tissues instantly. It increases nitric oxide. We have people where they did research at Mayo, which is University at Mayo in Rochester, where they have the most extensive cardiac and other residencies of any program in North America other than outside Switzerland. And they've discovered that Proline sauna, they've discovered infrared sauna will actually by itself reverse congestive heart failure. So one of the things that I tell people to do is we give CoQ10 ubiquinol, CoQ10 Supreme, the IBS care, acetylcarnitine, the mitochondrial catalyst, mitocarnitine, uridine triphosphate, etc., and use Proline sauna. And we use it with our detox chemicals, nutraceuticals like NutriDefense, xenoestrogen detox, Samethyl, BioLVR, etc. And the person pulls the toxic chemicals out of the body. It's amazing. It comes out in every aspect of your body. You sweat it out. It comes out in your bile, in your stool. It comes out in your urine. I mean, every possible way the toxic chemicals are going to come out, and they're massively amplified by using infrared sauna, including heavy metals. I did a test, for example, using I did a recent test using the QRMA over the last year, And what I discovered is that QRMA was identifying the massive dumping with using infrared sauna of heavy metals and chemicals. I just recently got my test back on cardio-ion scan, and it showed I massively detoxed myself of heavy metals on the heavy metals in red blood cell analysis at the Genova Metametrics lab in Atlanta. So, rah, Dr. Deagle did it. And again, anybody can do it. Most people don't realize if you're not detoxifying, like Dr. Sherry Rogers says, you're dying. Detoxify or die. And by the time you reach my age, which is 62, you've lived a lot of years in a toxic world, and if you're not detoxifying, there's arsenic in your chicken feed, if you even or eat organic chicken. There's heavy metals in fish out in the ocean because of mercury dumping and international pollution ending up in the oceans. Now we have cesium and strontium. Of course, it's not just in the Pacific Ocean. Over the next years, it'll show up in every ocean on the planet because of the 26-month cycle that brings those radioactive waters to every ocean. And you can detoxify if you actually have the right energetics, if you have the right detoxification protocols, and you're putting in the right nutrients, you're going to be fine. You're going to stay in a zone of compensation. And if cells die, your body is capable of replacing those damaged or destroyed cells. That's the key. Keep you in the zone of regeneration and rejuvenation. It's not to kind of act defeatist.
That with the heart disease, you got to remember, this is the only way. When you're using the sauna, your nitric oxide levels, without taking any supplements, within a 2-week period, they've shown to increase the nitric oxide levels up to 40%. That's incredible.
That's a lot.
For heart disease,
that's a lot.
Circulation, and it's amazing.
It is amazing. Do you have any testimonial stories you've had from your customers or people that are dealers that have had amazing stories of people with various health conditions? They can have conditions like ankylosing spondylitis to chronic pain syndromes to the firefighters with toxic load. In fact, I remember we're doing occupational work with both military and civilian firefighters, and they have basically the toxic load they have in their body from working around toxic chemicals and hot fires with chemicals in them. Liver and heart disease and lung disease are all considered parts of just disability. If they apply for it, they automatically get it. The real reason is they have to detox, and I think every fire station should have a Proline sauna. I think after they service one of these fires, even if they have a heat suit on, and even if they have Scott respirator with a proper air-fit mask, etc., they're going to transdermally absorb these damn chemicals that prevent them from burning up with a thermal suit, but they're still, even with their lungs protected, so they have a Scott Air Pack, they're still going to be absorbing toxic chemicals transdermally or through the Scott Air Pack filter system. So I really think that people don't understand this. We do it in Asia. The people are smart enough to realize that infrared sauna is literally a means of survival, because you're living in cities where if you're in Beijing and you're not having a 1/4-inch rubber dust on your car outside parked, you basically, the industries have been shut down for some reason by the communist government. So the average afternoon there is a cloudy day where they have to see a picture of the sun.
Yeah. And just real quick, on our new trampoliners, that has a trampoline for Dr. Deagle's listings, we're doing $500 off for anybody that was interested. Wow. 1-800-975.
Yeah. New technologies, nutraceuticals, and formula. And, of course, we'll bring Bruce on in the next segment. He'll be coming on at 1:45 the hour. We had an interesting report there from Tim Alexander, and, of course, we'll follow up on that in tomorrow with a major update. Coming up in hour number 3, we have Dr. Stanislaw Brzezinski from the Brzezinski Clinic in Houston. The gene-based cancer therapy, which is the most advanced in the world. There are clinics as well that do gene-based therapy that they're training in Japan and Europe. And, of course, the FDA has been doing research studies. They're particularly successful with certain kinds of cancer where they use anti-neoplastons as well as the specific off-label use of drugs to switch the genes back to a normal position and retest either with a biopsy or with a blood test and actually flow cytometry to separate the cancer cells and their stem cells. Most people don't realize you don't have cancer cells alone. You have the stem cells for cancer. And if you kill off with regular chemotherapy or radiation therapy, you dramatically increase up to 30 times the chance that the cells now in a cancer tumor will be radiation and chemotherapy resistant. And that's one of the real problems. You need to have gene-based therapy, which means basically cancer is a genetic problem. It's where cancer is an anaerobic condition where the tissues and cells are basically operating with less oxygen. They then start switching on and off specific genes, including telomerase, to lengthen the telomeres. lengthening telomeres with things like anti-age max doesn't increase cancer, but cancer cells will switch on and off genes to, quote, immortalize themselves, to prevent cell-to-cell contact, inhibiting their growth, and prevent them from being detected by the immune cells. That's why they grow a fibronectin capsule around them so the immune T lymphocytes won't identify them and kill them. So that's important for people to identify and realize that that's how those things work. I want to touch on some of the other companies we have. Of course, just to give you an idea of the range, we have vibrational exercise. If you go to that bottom link on the products page, that's where you're going to save $500. And, of course, that contact number for Ed Brown is 800-975-6981, 800-975-6981. They also ship internationally, and they have the very best triplanar, trimotion, the best prices, and, of course, you're going to save dramatically with worldwide shipping as well. We have turtle tough shelters, and we have, of course, some of the most amazing reports about how powerful these are at blocking wind. They are 24 to 26 foot diameter, 8 to 9 feet high. These are designed specifically to be able to carry a huge load. Even the smaller one will carry up to 6 people, the larger one 10 to 12 people, and hammocks up to 500 pounds each, including loads, etc. We have the Ready Store and emergency medical supplies. That's excellent for a very expanded list of medical supplies. I strongly recommend that you contact your local fire department and get a BTLS, Basic Trauma Life Support, Basic Cardiac Life Support course. Learn how to have the equipment on hand to handle things like simple punctures, lacerations with the glue or steri strips, simple things to open up and protect airways, ways to keep wounds clean if you have a compound fracture bone and you have things on hand like nutriodine, the Alamax, Alamed, Alcimed, and of course Silver 100. Proper dressings, including you get hemopacks that can stop bleeding, etc. Those are all excellent. Soma Pulse, of course, we have Dr. William Pollack, Dr. Bob Dennis. They have actually discovered at NASA the North Pole field, which the space station with their stem cell research identified a 400% increase in stem cell activation over the polar magnetic field, flux field, and they've actually reproduced it in the Soma Pulse. I usually will combine it if we have somebody with a serious problem or stem cell stimulation problem where they're going to use Soma Pulse, say, over the kidneys if they have renal failure, along with Lumen Photon. They have a number of nutraceuticals we can use to support stem cell therapy, such as Mountain Red Velvet, Microdose, Supernox, etc., and, of course, MycoD2, which has ergothioneine, which is the first molecule that's secreted by cells and tissues when stem cells are activated to differentiate. We have PrepareWise, which is the very best food in terms of portions, prices, etc., and storage in Mylar bags. You can mix and match these. These are amazing. We, of course, have Less EMF, and we usually have Emil de Toflon weekly. Lately, over the summer, talking about a half hour, usually on Tuesdays, the latest research on how to protect yourself from electropollution. Periodically, we bring on Dr. Fred Graves with the How to Win in Court course, and that course is online. You can have it on your iPad, your computer, your laptop. And I tell everybody, pro se litigant, or if you're just going to use legal services, you must take this course. We have Pure Water Systems, which is the best whole house system, 1/3 to 1/2 the cost of any other system in the world, and much cleaner, more simple to service, etc. Bev 100 system snaps on your tap if you have an RV or an apartment, and the Bev 300 with a 5-gallon pressurized tank is fantastic. I have 2 of them. They produce the cleanest water in the world. There's absolutely cleaner than distilled, and it's not an energy vampire. It just needs pressure. We have the Bev 200 tackle box system. Literally just needs a hose that can convert pond water into cleaner than distilled in a matter of minutes. It has very high throughput with a 12-volt pump that can be run off a car battery or a solar panel. We have, of course, the documentary films and ebooks. Those are all available. And my ebook, I've had a couple of requests from Britain and elsewhere looking for my ebook on Fukushima. That's coming out very shortly. Again, with the summer and all the activities, it's hard to complete things, but it will be coming out very soon. And it includes all the emails back and forth the last 3.5 years with our nuclear experts, including Chris Harris, that's his radio name, not his real name, and our other documents, including pictures of the actual reactors, technical solutions as well as medical solutions, geopolitical, and other reasons why this hasn't been solved, and solutions for the general nuclear industry that literally we don't need to be pushing using fusion energy to boil water or create steam to generate power. This is old technology, and it's stupid. We also have a donate button, and we talked about this in the past. Our charitable donations are to provide for veterans and people that can't afford nutraceuticals, and we need your donations to help be able to provide those for people. We, of course, have the website link to Michelle's website, of course, which is michelledeagle.com. And, of course, if you go up to our link directly for our Go Cruisin', we're going to go to Cabo San Lucas on the Crown Princess, November 22nd, 2014 to 29th. I will be bringing on board at least my QRMA machine. I may bring also the Bioplasma NLS, but at least the QRMA to demonstrate with you in a minute exactly how powerful this test is. And I recommend, whether you're using this or advanced testing like labtestingdirect.com or other functional medicine tests you can order yourself, these are fantastic. And in fact, I recently did that myself, ordered Lab Testing Direct, paid for it with a 70% savings on the testing. Simply went into the lab, and in a few weeks you have all your tests back, and they're amazing, like the cardio-ion test. We have the VibraSlim, which is the alternative to the vibrational platform exercise, which is we've had now for several years. VibraSlim is an amazing price, modular, and easy to service. We always have sale prices on for Silver 100. And, of course, one of my favorite machines is the QRMA and the Bioplasma NLS. We are replacing the current supplier for our detox device, and we're looking at a U.S. supplier here in America. This is still under investigations now, but the QRMA is a quantitative resonant magnetic machine developed by Dr. Yu Zhang from Taiwan, who's currently at MIT. The technology allows you to do a quantitative magnetic analysis of body bioplasmatic activity, including mineral, vitamin levels, nutritionals, cofactors. It shows body and organ function levels. You want to use the same machine and for the same individual, not switch machines. You'll totally mess up the tests. But it really is very, very helpful, and it can point toward specific blood tests, imaging tests, or other things that may be necessary to validate or what kinds of investigations need to be done. We have MagnaSoothe, of course, the magnesium oil, the MagnaSmooth cream, which is great for stopping pain or for deep tissue massage, MagnaCharge after shower and bath, and, of course, the Magna Soap, which is my favorite, all from the Dead Sea with essential oils and minerals. These are remarkable. And, of course, Cardivite for your heart. Indiamese, the anti-aging mineral that's present in all the oldest living people on Earth to chaperone minerals into your cells. And, of course, our affiliate Ecological with Jonathan Rothschild, some remarkable formulas. And our new name for our BH4 Biopterin is called Teradin, but it's still the BH4 Biopterins. When you order it, we have a new welcome back to the Nutrimedical Report. We'll be joined shortly with Bruce McKeeman from Hyperbaric Dives, 1.3 atmospheres. And I've learned a few little tricks to use with my vertical grand dive. The first one is I've added the use of an oxygen concentrator. You open up one of the plates of the two oxygen concentrator pumps. And he has a special device, by the way, Bruce has invented that actually keeps the chamber cool, because when you compress air, it generates heat. It keeps it nice and cool and comfortable. When you open up that plate, you simply bring the oxygen line in. I dial it up from the Respironics even flow to 10 liters a minute. It'll then compress that. It'll raise the oxygen concentration probably about 5% more, up to 8%. It's probably around 5% more, and that means that you're going to have oxygen somewhere around 26% instead of 21% of the ambient at sea level oxygen level here. And that means that you get perfusion of tissues with oxygen that ordinarily can't be perfused by even blood. It raises the redox potential, flushes stealth pathogens, because oxygen is toxic to stealth pathogens that get in secure areas that are away from perfused areas of your body, your brain, or other tissues. And it raises the redox level, so it raises ATP and electron density and NADH, nicotine adenine dinucleotide hydride. It raises the energetics in the cells, so the cells can then have stem cell activation, detoxification, etc. So whatever else you're using to detox, like lumen photon, Somopulse, Proline infrared sauna, etc., it massively amplifies it. There's virtually no health condition, whether it's fitness training, hypertension, circulatory problems, chronic inflammatory bowel disease, autoimmune conditions such as Crohn's disease. And recently I had a consult with a gentleman who developed very bad intra-bowel serosal adhesions. That is one of the pathognomonic signs of Crohn's colitis. And the bowel's going to create loops where you have fistulae between the loops of bowel. The cytokine levels in the external serosal layer is very inflamed, and they cause fibroblasts to form little tendrils of fibrous tissue that connects to the little loops of bowel. Eventually they can constrict it and cause partial or complete bowel obstruction. So surgical interventions necessary, and have to pack the bowel to prevent obstruction. So it's a very important thing. Do we have Bruce? Is Bruce available? Don't hear Bruce, so I guess we'll continue. Very good. Bruce, tell us all about hyperbaric therapy. Basically you have to be able to do it. If it's not comfortable, if it's not doable, if it's not large, if it stops because someone's claustrophobic or it's not bright enough, you can even in these chambers, you've done all the ergonomic things. You've got a system to make the walls of the chamber lighter and brighter and turn them into speakers. You have a system, even the vertical grand dive, and one that's even modified so you can even wheel a wheelchair in there so nobody can make an excuse to not do it. You have ways of simply adding extra oxygen to get another 5% oxygen in the chamber. Your chambers are the most portable. We know that, I think it's 2 years ago, the New York Giants football team had your type of chambers available, your chambers available to try to help them perform at a higher level. It flushes the lactic acid from their muscles. They get much faster recovery with micro and macro injuries. They're pretty amazing. All of these chambers that we call mild hyperbaric generate 1.3 atmospheres, but yours cover all the little issues that would prevent someone from not thinking it's just a great thing to do. So people do it, and they actually do it more regularly. Tell us all about the ergonomics and why your chambers are the best.
We went to our customers and asked them, what do you want in a chamber? And the number one thing they said was, we want safety. So we put belts on to support the zipper. Now, our chambers can run without the belts all day long, year in, year out, but we wanted to add that extra protection to give them that comfort. The next thing they said is, I want it to be comfortable. What's more comfortable than sitting in your easy chair inside the chamber? You can bring in a computer to watch television on your computer, or you can look out the large window and watch the TV in the room and just pipe in the sound through the surround sound speakers that actually turn the skin of the chamber into a speaker system.
Yeah.
It does it by the skin tightening up from the pressure, and then these little exciter speakers just vibrate the skin. So it's a wonderful effect. And it can also be used medicinally by having the ambient sounds needed for the doctor who's prescribing your recovery. Then
exactly.
We also have a micro antibacterial carpet, which has silver strands woven into it, so that it's creating a very clean, healthy environment. Then, as you mentioned, the brightness. We have a window on top, so you can put it under a ceiling light to allow lots of light to come in to give you that airy feeling. Then also we have the very, very strong core, which allows us to have a very thin layer of PVC covering the nylon webbing, because the nylon is taking all the pressure and providing all the strength. The thinner PVC is just the air tightness, allowing all that wonderful light to come through.
Yeah, it's amazing. The thing that I notice when I come out of the chamber, you feel like you feel renewed, you feel relaxed, you feel energized, you feel detoxified, you feel almost like it's almost like a birthing process. Like all of a sudden you feel like parts of your body were never properly perfused completely with oxygen. An oxygen molecule, I talk about the power of ones. Oxygen, Nutrimeds, energetic technologies, and stem cells, the power of ones. And that'll be part of my little book that I'm putting out, the first of a series of books on what I call quantum functional medicine, which is basically a kind of a newer approach to functional medicine that's even more advanced than the current one that's put out there, where we deal with everything from QRMA and bioplasma NLS from the Russian Space Agency to functional medicine tests, to gene tests, to organic acids, to immunology, to the actual quantum physiology of what is oxygen. Oxygen generates, as to say, in the engine of your mitochondria, it generates electron transport. It generates energy. And if you don't have adequate energy, it's like the choke in your car. You're not going to burn your fuel properly. In fact, anaerobic metabolism is the basis of cancer and autoimmune disease. So when we get people with cancer and autoimmune disease as an augment to try to turn off their autoimmunity and to turn off their cancer or make their cells more sensitive to what I call the Brzezinski approach toward gene-based cancer therapy, which is anti-neoplastins and off-label use of drugs to turn the gene switches, oxygen converts tissues back to aerobic metabolism, which is basically non-cancer, non-autoimmunity. Because when cells are exposed to hypoxia, they generate antigens on the cell surface that generate autoimmunity, or the cell can go down a different pathway and start switching on and off genes and turn it into cancer to try to survive. It's a survival mechanism. And if we don't look at cancer as a survival mechanism of a hypoxic anaerobic tissue, we just really won't treat cancer properly, and we don't. We kind of clobber the weakest version of the cancer cells, and then the stronger ones survive. When I call the Wally cells die and the Arnold Schwarzenegger cells survive, and then we have a real problem on our hands. They're now radiosensitive cells are dead, and the radiation-resistant cells and the chemo-resistant cells survive, and the patient has then aggressive metastases. Well, the same thing with autoimmunity. Oxygen is a major treatment for autoimmunity as well, because autoimmune tissues are hypoxic, anaerobic tissues that develop abnormal cell surface antigens. So you probably noticed that when people use oxygen as an anti-inflammatory, whether it's to stop vascular inflammation in their heart, or C-reactive protein, or to reduce the PI1 plasminogen activator inhibitor 1, or the primary cause of inflammatory plaque, which is in their artery walls. There's a number of different markers you can measure. In fact, research here in California, but oxygen is a major treatment to stop inflammatory markers and hypoxia that generates basically pretty well all disease. Most disease has its roots in hypoxia and stealth pathogens, and the presence of biotoxins, heavy metals, but radiotoxins and chemicals, as well as electrotoxins. So, Bob, tell us more about Bruce, the application of this technology. I mean, it really is. I mean, you can't talk about the specific illness, but how easy it is for somebody to use your chambers compared to the big, bulky, dark chambers that are often, told that people have to take, or comparison to like 100% oxygen at 3 atmospheres pressure. Because I think that people need long-term use of low-dose oxygen at this pressure rather than high-dose oxygen just for 20 or 40 sessions.
Yes, we saw the economy turn down and said people are in need, so we came out with the E-Series chambers, where you can actually get a Grand Dive-sized chamber for $11,000. And we are the only company offering an entry-level chamber, 24 inches in diameter, fairly large chamber, for under $4,000. We heard the need, and we answered the call. And that's what we'll
amazing.
Continue to do.
And the contact number, if they want to get hold of you, Bruce, is?
612-325-8243.
612-325-8243. If you have any questions, you need to contact me about the application for your health condition. Call me as well, Dr. Bill. Thank you, Bruce. Back in a moment with Dr. Stanislaw Brzezinski from the Brzezinski Cancer Clinic in Houston.